Hello guys, welcome to the watch channel. My name is Oliver and today I have a different kind of video for you guys. I'm going to compare the sizes of the 39 and 42mm Laco Aachen. Also applies to the Augsburg, I guess. Aachen just means that it has the B dial. In a later video I will compare the Pilot Basic, as Laco puts it, to the Laco or to the Pilot Original, but today I'm just going to compare the sizes and try and help you to pick which size is correct for you. So first off, we can go through some basic specifications. I'm going to put it on the screen so you can see it for yourself, and I'm going to do this one first and the other one. So this is the bigger model at 42mm. It has a height of 11.75mm, which is 0.2mm thicker than the smaller one. The lug width is 20mm and the lug to lug is 50mm. If we look at the 39mm version, this is the top version, so it's a limited edition, but disregard the dial color and I guess the strap. So this is 39mm in diameter, 11.55mm thick. It has an 18mm lug width, and the lug to lug is 46.5mm. So I'll put them both on the screen so you can compare. And you might think 3mm, that's nothing. 3mm bigger, that's a 7.7% increase, but that's an increase in diameter. So the actual dial, like the area of the dial, is a lot more than 7.7% bigger. While it doesn't sound that big, the area on the dial on this one is 16% bigger, which is more than double the percentage of just the diameter increase. So it does make a really big difference. Also the lug to lug is 3.5mm different. I'll put it on my wrist to compare. My wrist is 17 centimeters, so I'll convert it to inches on the screen. This is how the 42mm wear on me. You can say that the Flieger watch is meant to be big and that it wears nicely. For me personally, I don't care that it's a Flieger watch. I want it to wear as good as possible for just everyday wear, and for me then this is too big. Compare it with the 39mm here, which in my opinion just looks a lot better. The proportions just on my wrist is a lot better. It just sits a lot nicer and just overall looks better, in my opinion. Side by side, we do see that the difference is quite significant. So as you know, Flieger watches, Laco are one of the original makers of the Flieger watch for the German Luftwaffe in the Second World War, and these watches were big. And Laco actually offers a 55mm replica that is as close to the original as possible, and it only costs 3,450 euros. So that's the one you should get. Flieger watches today, I think this one in particular, have a more modern design. And you can wear them as a dress watch. And you can wear them for just everyday wear. They are very nice watches, and I don't think big is better in this case. If you have a similar size wrist as me, I think you should without a doubt go for the 39mm version. It just looks better. If you have a little bit bigger wrist than me, you can go for the 42, but I still think the 39 will look better. If you have really big wrists, like significantly larger than mine, you can go with the 42mm. I think a lot of people buy watches that are too big. I remember when I got my first watch, it was a G-Shock. It was way too big for me. And I also had a Fossil watch that was too big. And I remember the first proper watches I got was an Orient Bambino and a Christopher Ward diver. So the Bambino was 41mm and the Christopher Ward was 42. And at the time I thought they were small because I was used to something bigger. And then my watches after that has just been smaller and smaller, and I've just grown to appreciate smaller watches more and more. and I just think it looks better, especially on my tiny wrist. It just looks better proportional. It just looks more, it just looks better, period. But of course there's gonna be personal opinions here. Some might like bigger watches, but if you have small wrists and you're used to big watches, I would say try and get a smaller one. I think you're gonna like it a lot more than you might think. If you know you want the big one, then why are you watching this video? And I think most people watching this video might want the smaller one, because if you want the bigger one, you know you want the bigger one. 42 millimeters doesn't sound that much to begin with, but you gotta consider that this watch is almost all dial, so it's a huge dial. If I compare this to, for example, my Squale 50 Atmos, which is also 42 millimeters, you will see that it appears really big in comparison, because the dial is just so big. If I show you this on wrist, it wears like that. So the lug on this is shorter, but it's a 42 millimeter watch. This one just completely fills out my entire wrist. It's really overpowering, and it really sticks out. It just doesn't look well proportioned to my wrist. It just fills out everything. This 39 millimeter doesn't like conquer my wrist. It just sits nicely on my wrist and just make my wrist look better. So which watch should you get? It's ultimately up to you. You gotta buy what you like. The most important thing is that you buy the watch you like. But if you are unsure, I think give the smaller one a chance, unless you have really big wrists, in which case the 42 millimeter will be the best choice for you. If you have that big wrist, I think you know it yourself, and the 42 millimeter is the obvious choice. But if you're unsure, I think give the 39 millimeter a chance. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, learned something from it. I would really appreciate if you subscribed, and also it really helps me out if you like the video, and let me know in the comments what you think, which size do you prefer, and thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.